Welcome back, family. Okay, I'm on take 3 right now, trying to get this right. Even Boo Bear is looking at me like, what's wrong with you? I don't know. Okay, so let's just get right down to it. This is the CovrPrice weekly top 10 list review. Now, usually I do this with Greg, but his whole family is kind of sick right now, so I'm trying to decrease the amount of phlegm that he may cough up on his microphone. I'm going to head this one this week by myself. So if I know he does a lot of research on this stuff ahead of time, I'm going to try to do this the best I can. He's really the guy in the chair. Kind of nice in the chair, let's be honest. But I'm going to try to wing this the best I can. So if I'm wrong or if I missed some information, please, I'd appreciate it if you throw it into the comments. So that way I can learn and so can everybody else who reads this. So let's get right to it, starting with number 10. I'm going to do this the other way. There we go. Because I think the books are more important than I am. Number 10, we have still from last week, Marvel Premiere number 12. And as we click on it, we see it is the first appearance of Witch Queen of the Gypsies, a.k.a. Lilia Calduru. Lilia C. There we go. Last week I was pointing out that there are so many secondary, tertiary characters that pop up in not only the MCU, but in comic books that you have to take each one with a grain of salt. And this one was rumored to be coming in the House of Harkness TV series, which the way things are going right now, I can't even guarantee that we're still going to get the show. Okay, and even if we are, her son Nicholas Scratch's first appearance, that's dropped in price, and that's a relative of hers, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get that character. She already had Senior Scratchy, a little rabbit there, which in a cutscene from WandaVision, he turned into a demon. So, in all honesty, I really don't think this is a great one to invest in. Prices have come down a little bit on this now, but it still is, though, a Bronze Age book, 1973. So if you can get a high-grade book, high-grade Bronze Age book for $180, that's not terrible for 9.6, but still, I'd wait for it to come down some more. On to the next book on the list. We have a new one here, The Deadly Spider-Man, number 5. Now this is the first appearance of Dream Spider. How many more spiders are we going to get? Now, this book came out in February, and now this is starting to go up. Oh, is it because we were so flooded with spider characters in February and January and March of this year that this one slipped through and now somebody's like, oh, look, another spider. I'll pass. I'm sorry, I'm just too flooded with spider characters right now. Too much of the Spider-Verse. It's oversaturation, and I'm sure that there are going to be one or two that pan out. But the way I look at it, if there's 50 different characters, and each book, each first appearance goes for $10, means for me to collect them all, I have to spend $500. If I just sit on the sideline and wait until all the hullabaloo calms down and find, oh, that's the one character that actually is going up, I could probably get it for $250. Save $250 and not wind up with $49 bin books in my collection. So just sit back, relax, and let's wait till, as Reggie would say, the waters calm down. Right now the ocean's a little bit too red. Street Fighter number 1. I was looking at this one, and I kind of like this one. I don't know if we're getting another remake of the movie, probably, because it's just too popular. I was surprised at the low price on this, honestly. We got the last 9.8 sold, a 9.8 sold for $249. Now, this is a book that came out in 1993, so brace yourself here, we're at 30 years ago. It's the first U.S. comic appearance of Street Fighter, Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Balrog, Sayat, Vega, Bison. But there is also a newsstand version, a gold edition. So And by the way, this thing on the newsstand that shows poster inside, I don't know where that came from. I looked online and I see newsstand variants and they don't say poster on side. The first one I see that has a poster is number 3. But yeah, I see online right now there is a newsstand. There is a 9.8 CGC on eBay for $199 with no bids. I think there's a 9.6. You see here, look at this. 9.6 sold for $75. 9.8 sold for $249. 9.2 sold for $140. The numbers are all over the place. So if this is something you'd like to add to your collection, I think it's kind of cool. Shop around. Shop around, compare price. Don't just go for the first one that you see. Although anytime it appears on a top 10 list, usually that's going to grab other people to go out and grab the books. So moving up to list number 7, we have Strange Academy Finals, the 1 in 25 Scotty Young. This is number 6, which is the last book of the series. And honestly, I don't know what the reasoning is for this to go up. The only thing I can think of is he's talking about this book being a spoiler because the character, what the heck's her name? I can't read it without my glasses. Anyway, the fact that just the look of her new costume is a spoiler whether or not she turned into a good guy or a bad guy. Okay. I think we're getting a little bit too crazy with spoiler books in the last month. And another book on this list highlights that. If she has a new costume, though, and the only cover appearance of it, the spoiler of it, is a Scotty Young, I don't know. I mean, Scotty Young's art is just, it's not cute to me anymore. It's just overly done, and near mints are going for $78. So $78 for a 1 in 25. So it is hitting triple ratio. If you have it, I'd hold on to it. I don't know if that's going to go up or not. It all depends upon whether or not that character becomes super major, not just within Strange Academy, but expanding into other books and possibly the MCU. If this is the point where she became, like Dark Phoenix as opposed to Jean Grey, could it be? I guess, maybe. Yeah. It's a flip of the coin on this. The top weekly sale was 105. Average sale now 74. I'd try to find it for 50 if you can. Or if you can, I'd pass on it. Too many ratio variants. They're so hit or miss, man. More miss than hit. So my advice on that is a pass. Moving up to number 6, we have World Tree. Number 1, the 1 in 10 Jenny Frison. Okay, so this whole launch of this book got kind of messed up from Image because they printed a lot of copies too dark. You couldn't see the dead body on the cover on the number 1. By the way, I have a regular number 1. I'm sending that one off. Is that one in my list? No. I'm getting together a CGC submission, and I'm not sending out my World Tree yet. I want to wait and see what happens with that. 1 in 10 is not a high ratio, and a lot of people did order these books, so there's going to be a lot of 1 in 10s out there, and I don't think there's any printing issues with the 1 in 10. So I think the dealers were just told to hold their regular copies, and the copies that were good and the copies that were bad, they were told to hold until Image could sort it all out. Now, a lot of dealers just said, I'm going to sell them anyway. You don't own me. So I think that the 1 in 10 was probably pretty scarce at first, but now that all the dealers are allowed to release these books, the incentive ratios are also going to sell. The paper quality on these things is not great, so to try to find a high quality one, that's a key. Top weekly sale is 17, so it's not even double ratio on this. It all depends on how good the story is. If the story does well and people are interested in the book, the 1 in 10 should go up a bit. I don't know if there's a 1 in 25 or 1 in 50, 1 in 100, whatever. But Frison's art usually holds some good value. If you can find it for the 15 range and it's in good condition, good condition, that wouldn't be such a bad book to get. Coming up at number 5, though. Now we're hitting some Silver Age keys. Look at this. First appearance of Rhino in SpiderMan number 41 from 1966. Now this one is spiking right now because the character of Rhino has been rumored to be cast for the new, to be cast in Kraven, the Hunter. Now, they have somebody signed for Kraven. It is a speculation that this person is going to be playing Rhino. I think it's a good speculation, though. I really do, because Rhino, Animal, Kraven, Hunter makes sense. How much time he's going to have in the movie, I don't know. How good is the movie going to be? This is what worries me. Is Sony has been, with the exception of Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home, at which point it was kind of Feige, holding their hand. By the way, now the MCU needs somebody to hold their hand. I acknowledge that. But on the other ones, Venom, which was good, Carnage, which was not good, both of them should have been rated R. Morbius, which was what the hell. They dropped the ball on a lot of these other movies, and it almost feels like they're just trying to pump these movies out quickly, like the MCU is doing right now, and they're kind of hitting the brakes to try to slow it down and get some quality back up there again. But is it because they're trying to lock the characters in? I don't know. But I would love, this is a key book that has always been in demand. Everybody loves this book. The second cover appearance of Rhino, by the way, is the first full appearance of Mary Jane Watson. So, you got some really great books in this run. But right now, this is the wrong time to buy this book. I would wait at least a month on this one for it to cool off a little bit. You'll be able to get a better deal on this. Right now, it's just too much in the news. Everybody's looking for it. Long term, though, this is a great book to have. Coming in number 4, another great book to have. Conan the Barbarian, number 1 from 1970. I don't know why this is all of a sudden spiking up for the last week or so. I know that Marvel has lost the rights to Conan. I assume somebody else has gained them. But was it Dark Horse that got them? I don't know. Somebody please put in the comments who got the rights to Conan. But this is a key book. This is a great book to have. There is a somewhat of a spike for the last 2 weeks, but these books generally, once they go up a little bit, this key book like this generally doesn't come back down. You got Red Sonja coming out, and that's first appearances in 24 and 25. If they have Belit in the movie for any reason, that's going to drive those books up. If she dies, and Conan 100 will go up. Conan, it was a very underrated comic book, and it's not that expensive if you think about some of the books that are there. And that is a 15-cent book. That is tail end of Silver Age. I don't think that's bronze yet. I think it's right on the border. So you think about Daredevil. How long was that book under $1,000 for a low grade? Okay, until Marvel got it and started shooting up. I don't know. I don't think Marvel can put them in the MCU because they lost the rights to print new books. But what if they are movie adapting issues that they had? I don't know what the legality is on that. Also, I don't see any reason to put Conan in the MCU. If they do something separate like a Conan movie, that could be interesting. Anyway, great book to have. I obviously can't afford a 9.8, so coming back to that one in a little while. Coming in number 3, well, we've dropped down from the number 1 spot, but we're still holding number 3. It's SpiderMan number 7, the Humberto Ramos Top Secret Spoiler Edition. Now, we were hitting 170 for 9.8s pre-order last week, and some of these have already started coming back, and I watched an auction end today, went for 115 for a 9.8, and this was in hand. The Raws are still selling for about 25-ish, if you factor in shipping, 30. I finally have my copy coming to me, which I did buy a 9.8 pre-order, but I got it on the way up, so as long as it doesn't drop below 90, then I'll still be okay. You should start looking for your number 7 now. I still think it's going to drop a little bit more, but I'm seeing this book in a raw finishing up around 18 to 20-ish. Remember to factor in shipping when you're buying on eBay, though. Because if you see 15 and it's $15 shipping, that's $30. If you see 20 with free shipping, that's $20. What, it's still more money out of your pocket. That's the bottom line. So, got a little bit more to come down, but you're going to start, if you want this book, get ready to start looking. Number 2 and number 1 are both the same book. We have Star Wars High Republic Adventures Quest of the Jedi. We have the Fico Ossio. Please tell me if I butchered that. And the Tom Fowler. Sorry. And it's funny, I have both of these books. I do. I believe the one that's up here, I think that's the cover B. The one in the number 1 spot. And I think that this one is the cover A. So let's take a quick look at this. Pretty sure that was the cover B. No, it doesn't even really say. First appearance of Barnabas Vim. I own 2 of that one. Okay, so that's the cover A, yeah. And this is the cover B. Right. Okay. So we have cover A and cover B. They're both selling for top weekly sale, pre-graded $150. Okay. Raw is $35. Now these are not, they were selling for $30, $35 real quick because stores, they didn't get, people pre-ordered and that was it. A lot of stores did not buy copies to put on the shelf. And the reasoning, in my opinion, is there have been so many new High Republic and this Republic and that Republic stories lately that it's kind of like spider books. It was like an oversaturation. And I think people are like, enough with the Star Wars books, okay? Plus a little bit of disappointment in the Mandalorian season may have cooled off the Star Wars market a little bit. But then this book hits the shelf. $5.99 cover price. And let me tell you, you get what you pay for. The cardstock on the cover is so thick and crisp and clean. It's a high gloss. It's gorgeous, this book. The interior, every page is of top quality. Okay, so, I mean, a lot of books that we get lately, it's like, wow, brand new, and it looks like it needs a press before it even comes out of the box. And it's like newspaper thickness. This was like one of the highest quality books I've seen in a while. So kudos to Dark Horse on this. I think you're going to see 9.9s on this and possibly even 10s. Kind of it's like the same way for like The Last Ronin and some of those really heavy magazine cover glossy books. I think you may see 9.9s and 10s in this. It's that high a quality book. And I'm going to be, actually, I have a couple of copies that I'm going to be sending off. But this is already starting to calm down a little bit, but I don't think this one's going to drop as much as the SpiderMan because this one I think is lower print. I think the higher price scared all people from pre-ordering it, and I think everybody wants it now. And I think the higher quality paper, the higher card stock it is really, will keep it from dropping too low a price. So that's my my thought on this is you're not going to drop too much lower than it already is, maybe 25. That's my opinion, which, everybody has opinions in what? Yeah. So now time for gun to my head. Which book will I choose if I had to pick one at today's prices? I'm going with Conan the Barbarian #1. This is a book that I've actually been looking for. I'm trying to find a really good deal, but I got other books I'm trying to get first, and I think I just finally got the last one of them. So now I start to look for those secondary books that I really wanted to get in my collection. And this is something that I've always wanted. Okay, and I'm not even that big a Conan fan. Imagine the people that are. Now, the reason I like this is if I'm going to get it at today's prices, I am going to go for somewhere in the range of a 7.0. Last deal of a 7.0 which was just a couple days ago, was $3.56. That's not terrible for a 1970 book. And the big thing is 53 years old. 7.0, Conan #1. Again, it's just Conan #1. It's not the first appearance. No, it is. First appearance of Conan. Duh. This is a character that Arnold Schwarzenegger played. If you wanted to get an 8.0 at 500, 9.0, 725, see, these are all numbers I don't want to spend. But even if you just want to get a nice a copy that you could keep slapped like on, you know, for display, a 4.5. There we go. Sold in February, $210. 5.0, $285. If they remake the Conan movies, you know what this book is going to do. I mean, remake it properly, not like the silly remakes that they made. I mean, you know, really remake it. 6.0, $276. Under $300, you're getting a 6.0, a fine copy of the first appearance of Conan. That. I love that. I love that. And it is an iconic cover, which has been homage to other things. I mean, think about Barbaric. So, yeah, this is my gun to my head pick, and it's not even a gun to my head. This is my pick. Okay, I don't even need to be, you know, forced into it. If I had a second pick, I guess I'll make a second pick for Greg. Well, if I'm spending his money, I'm going for a SpiderMan. No, my second pick would be the Street Fighter #1, but I would be frugal in trying to find something because the prices are all over the place. It's a 30-year-old book, but it's part of all of our childhood too, you know. So as people get older and start retiring and start spending some money, whatever, they're going to remember those Street Fighters and the Mortal Kombat books as well. Doom books, you know, things that are like, oh man, I remember this when I was a kid. That's when things get expensive, you know, cars and everything else. So that would be my second pick. So there you go. 2 gun to my head picks, and they're actually both solid picks. They're not, you know, you're not forcing those books on me. The one I would avoid the most, 9 and 10 are both up there. Yeah, probably just 9 and 10. Those are the 2 I would avoid. Yeah, I can't guarantee anything about that, but the Marvel premiere and the Dream Spider, no, neither one of them are interesting to me. Well, so what do you guys think about these picks? What are your picks? What's your gun to your head? Do you think I'm wrong about 9 and 10? And if so, tell me why, because I do want to know. And actually, so does the rest of the community, so share. So I would like to start wrapping this up, but remind everybody that you can definitely join us on Patreon, help support the channel. That'd be great. That's at Team Ohana at Patreon. You can see us on Instagram at Team Ohana Family on Instagram. Don't forget to check us out on our podcast, which we missed this week. I'm sorry, because of the Back Issue Book Club. We missed this week because of the illness that's running rampant in Greg's house, and we all pray and wish for him the best. But other than that, though, just make sure that you click like and subscribe. Click on those notifications so you know when more videos are dropping. And please, please, please give us those thumbs up, because the likes do help YouTube say, hey, you know what? People like these videos. We should push it up the ladder a little bit and recommend it to other people, and then help grow the channel. Don't forget, on Wednesday, we will have our new comic book day. And giving away some books like we always do. Can't wait to see you then, though. Until we see you in the next video, mahalo.